Hi all, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to say this straight away, this will probably be a long video. Alright, if you don't want to watch it, I understand. Alright, because I'm trying to jam in as much as I can here, because I've had 3 emails, alright, and they've all asked different questions, so I'm going to try and link them in together. I had one question about what warm-up do I do before going for a run. One question about what gear I wear in winter for going for a run, and I can't remember. I can't remember what the third question was. Well, bugger me. Let me just look it up. I'll be back. I'm back. Just looked it up. That one made me laugh because it's actually in my description, so this bit will take seconds. I'll do this first. What do I wear on my feet when I'm running? I'll do this bit first because it'll take seconds. Just for future reference, in the description of all my videos there's a link to some gear I wear. A lot of it's from Harrier. My footwear, my shoes, my boots for hiking, everything's in the link in the description. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to try and jam in all them 3 things. We'll do the first one first, right? I've got quite a few pairs. Yeah, you'll have to excuse the house, right? This is apart from the bedroom, this is the only room I have heating in, right? And it's not that great when it's really, really cold. Right, so everything in winter seems to get switched into here. In that corner I've got a few little weights and stuff and exercise stuff, because in my actual gym it's like a freezer, you get me? It really is. I can store food in there and it won't go bad. So I do most of my stuff in this one room, right? Because it's the only room with the heating, as I said, apart from the bedroom. You should see me when I'm cooking. I've got woolly hats. I even have gloves on when I'm cooking at times, but I don't mean over a hot stove. I mean if I'm just putting something in the microwave, you know what I mean. Anyway, right, let's get back to it. I've done that bit. Right, I've tried a few different pairs for road running. Right, this is road running. Right, a few brands you would have heard of, right? I'm not going to go into all that, right, because people want to know what I'm wearing right now. Well, right now I'm actually, for road running, I'm wearing a pair from TEMU, right? Complain or not, I don't care. If you don't like TEMU, fine, right? But I'm wearing these and they were so good, I've actually got a brand new pair in there, in the box, unopened. Right, well, I've tried them on, just in case they stop selling them and something goes wrong with these. But I've had these now for, I picked them up in, I think it was March, right? And they are, no, it wasn't March because it was after my foot, so, oh bloody hell, July, April, so not that long ago, right? I've got quite a big drop, right? But if you're a subscriber, you'll know I damaged my Achilles heel, blah, 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 blah. I need more support, right? It's not like walking on air or out like that, but there is good cushioning, right? The link is in the description, but this is what I wear for road running, right? They give me loads of support, right? I don't feel like they're too high and I'm going to cockle over because there's cushioning and this gives a bit. I wouldn't wear them sort of like in the rain. They're not waterproof. Right? I do spray some of that waterproof protection on them though, just in case it starts raining when I'm out. But they're more of a spring-summer runner thing. Right? But I don't really go running in the rain and unless I'm trail running, which we'll move on to now, right? But for road running, I wear these, right? Run Power, Fruit Candy for some strange reason. I'll hold them there for a second for the camera to focus. There, yeah, and these are what I have on just for road running. The grip ain't too bad. In fact, for road running, it's brilliant, right? I wouldn't recommend trail running in these. So that's that bit. I'll be wearing these today actually, but we'll get back to that in a minute. Now for trail running, I've got about 5 pairs in. I'm not joking, I've got about 5 pairs of trail runners in there. I had a pair I loved from whatever company. You would have heard of them if I can remember the bloody name, but I suppose that doesn't really matter now. But since I did my ankle, right, they're not cushioned enough. Right, so what I use now, right, the Solomon's trail runners. Right, great lugs. I've mentioned it when I've been out trail running a few times. I've mentioned these. I'm glad I've got these on or whatever. Right, but I wear these now for trail running. Right, they've got enough cushion for me. Right, they're very sturdy, very supportive. Unfortunately, them ones I've just showed you, right, and these are about 10 times more expensive, but they're from TEMU. These are Solomon's. You know what I mean? Like I say though, links in the description to all my videos. Okay, right, that's my footwear. I'm not going to go into me hiking boots or out like that. There's even a link in the description to them, which might surprise you because they're fantastic boots and they're not expensive. Alright, but you can look that up yourself. Okay, right, that footwear sorted out. Take a breath, George. As I said, this will be a long video, but I'm trying to rush through that bit because the links are there for you to check them out yourself. And that's no disrespect to the person that sent me the email. Maybe you didn't spot them. Alright, or she actually, because I don't know. But I say I don't know. Alright, person didn't leave me a name. It was just a case of hi George, can you blah 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 blah, thanks a lot, bye type thing. It was that sort of an email. Right, now the person did ask me to put them in a video to show, right, before you say, well, why don't you just tell them in the email? They asked me to show it in the video. Okay, so I thought I'd stick it in with this one. Right, moving on. I was asked, what do I do for warm-up before going for a run? Well, okay, George from a little bit in the future here. I've actually just been for a run and got back, and I've started to edit this video because I wanted to get this one out first, right, which I don't think I'm going to be able to do because I've had a technical issue. And when I say technical issue, I mean I'm an idiot and I've deleted some stuff. So I'm just shooting this middle bit again, or recording this middle bit again, and then what I'll do is you'll jump back to me in the past to finish off with the last email, the gear one, because this was the second email. You saw the shoes, that was the first, this was the second, and the gear's the last. But I've just been for a run, right, and I took my camera with me this time, right. I might be able to post that quicker actually because it was straightforward, start, stop, start, stop. Anyway, I'm starting to waffle. I just went round my usual route. Cemetery, KC Stadium. The gate was locked, so I had to follow the road down and past the hospital. But anyway, you may have already seen that because I might post that one first. Enough about that. This particular video. Okay, email. What do I do to warm up? Well, I'll mention this straight away. Alright, just so it's covered, because a few months ago I damaged my Achilles heel and I was laid up. Every single day I have to do exercises just for my heel. I even bought a massage gun, and I've got a couple of other little bits and pieces, and I have to do that every day. If not, I'm all seized up. Now that's why they're there, I was planning on showing you them, but I thought there's no need, right? Because I wasn't asked that. I was asked what exercises I do before going for a run. And also I doubt very much anybody who watches this will be watching with an Achilles injury. But if by any fluke of the imagination you are, or you've got any questions about that, just drop us a link in the comments or drop me an email, right, whichever. Okay, right, Exercises I do before going for a run. Well, I'll have to point this out. I do these particular exercises every single day just to keep me a bit supple, right? So yeah, it's before I go for a run because it's every day. So let's just go through them. Right, I'll use my swivel chair, but you can use any chair, obviously. Right, let's just go down a bit. Can you see me there? Of course you can. Right, well I'll do them in order, but I won't show you the full lot because I usually do them for like a minute or so each. Right, just from here, just up and down, as simple as that. Right, obviously both legs, and I usually do this for maybe 30 seconds on each leg. You know what I mean, whichever way you want to do it. It's just sort of like a starting exercise to get you a little bit suppler. Right, and then from here, roughly shoulder length apart with your feet, just kicking out sideways. And obviously you do both legs, and on average I do about 10 to 15 on each leg on that. Okay, and then facing forward as you come up. All right, knee bent. Keep your knee bent on the way back. So you're rocking, you've got your knee up and you're just rocking. Right, same on both legs. All right, on average, once again, I usually do about 10 or 15 on each leg. All right, and then just shake your knees off. In between most of these, try and shake your knees off a bit. You've heard the expression, shake it off, and it does help. Right, okay then, now from here, keeping your legs reasonably straight, your knee will bend a little bit, right, like that. Straight up and down swings now. And on average, once again, I usually do about, I don't know, maybe 15 on each leg, something like that. Nothing too major there. Right, just pull that back again. Right, I'll just bring you up a little bit here. Oh, excuse me. Right, and then I do the hang. The hangman, just hang down, hang down. Oh, I can just get my fingertips on the floor. You don't believe me, do you? Right, roughly shoulder length apart with your feet. And just hang down. Go on, stretch. Got him. I'm getting old. I used to put my hands flat on the floor when I was a kid. But joking apart, I usually just hang a little bit, right? Just for, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds, right? That's all. Now, this bit here, right, is not a necessity, but I find it helps strengthen. These are just 5 kilos, that's all. Right. I find it helps strengthen your legs while you're sort of like stretching them. And I like to do my lunges and hold it. Right. You'll feel it pulling on your legs. Hold it for a few seconds. And the other way. Hold it for a few seconds and you can mix them up, doing sideways. Do that for maybe a minute, doing different legs, you know what I mean? And then some squats, because you're doing your hips and at the same time you're still working out your legs. You're giving your legs a little bit of a workout. So that's something I like to do for just a couple of minutes or so. It's not that important. Right, move onto the groundwork now. Okay, please, please, please do this next exercise very, very slowly in case it's too much for you. Okay? If it hurts, stop. If it's slightly uncomfortable, keep going. Sat in this, well, if I was a woman, I'd say extremely unladylike position, but it's not exactly gentlemanly position. Just knee down to the opposite foot, ankle. And I usually do on these about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6, 7 or 8. Try and keep your hands flat on the floor. Don't matter if you come up a little bit, I suppose, but try and keep your hands flat on the floor. All right, you'll find it stretches more because you're really putting force here and stretching. Okay, right. From here, I saw this in a yoga class video I was watching. Right, this, whatever you want to call it, position. Right, lift up, lift your leg out, and kick a few times. Right, and then hold it, and then kick a few more times. Apparently it's good for your hips. Like I said, I saw this in a yoga thing, so I've no idea, but a professional said it's good for your hips, so I thought, why not? You know what I mean? Why not? Right, so let's say you've just spent 10 minutes, right, that's all it takes, doing different stretching and stuff, just to loosen your hips off, right? Give them a twist. All right. Anybody heard of chubby checker? Let's twist again, like we did last summer. Oh, that's enough of that, George. Just give your hips a bit of a twist, loosen them off a bit. Your knees, all right. You just a few circles. Won't do any harm. I'm not pushing one out, it's really just for balance. Or it goes back to a dance I used to do. You won't see that, will you? I'm trying to show you leg stuff. Basically, I was just doing this with my legs. Right. Just a bit of this and that. And then I said it goes back to a dance I used to do. You'll like this. Especially if you've never seen it before. Now I'm going to get at least one comment saying, God, George, you are old, aren't you? Alright, I'm leaving it like that. Alright, but that is a very, very, very old dance, believe it or not. Yeah, that's a very, very old dance. But no, so that is basically, and on average it takes me about 10 minutes every single morning. Right? And that is basically all I do before going for a run, just to get your hips and your knees and get things moving a little bit. And excuse me, and because I use them weights, okay, they're not heavy, but because I use them weights, it just gives that tiny little bit of workout at the same time on your legs, just to help strengthen your muscles a little bit. It's not a gym session, it's not a workout session, it's just an extra bit of effort you have to put in. And it works for me. Whether it works for you or not, I don't know. You don't have to. You don't have to pick up the weights. Okay, right, yeah, leave this here. I'll jump back into the past and show you the rest of the video of what gear I'll be putting on before going out for a run, even though I've already been for a run and I've took the gear off again. Yeah, I'll probably post that video first, like I said, because it'll take me seconds to edit, but I'm gonna have to mess about like mad now because I've got 3 lots of videos floating about. I have to mess about putting them together and stuff, and I have to get a video up today because it's Friday and I always post a video on a Friday, don't I? Occasionally one during the week, but that's just a bonus one. Anyway, I'm waffling, bloody hell. Right, jump shot, back to the past. Right, with a gear bit again. I hope I'm not going through this too fast. I suppose you can always watch a little bits over and over again. Right, now what do I wear for running in winter? Now I have to point this out, right? It's, that was another email. That'll have to be a different video because that will go on for ages. Yeah, I'll just skip what I was about to say then because that was another email. Somebody had asked me how to get into running, right? But I'll have to do that on a different video, okay? Now, personally, I only decided to get fit again at sort of like the beginning of 2025 because I was kayaking and I had a problem and I needed to get fit again. Right, leave that for another video. But so basically, because I only decided to get fit again in 2025 and it was round about February-ish, so it was already getting a bit warmer anyway. So October, November, December of 2025 is like the first winter running time for me. And then of course now January, it's January, yeah, it's January. I keep thinking it's bloody still December. I had to double check then. Yeah, it is January. Yeah, so basically January, and because it's so cold, is sort of like the first wintry runs for me. So a lot of it has been trial and error. What I was wearing in October has changed to what I was wearing in November. What I was wearing in November has changed to what I'm wearing in December. And December, January is pretty much the same because it started to get cold. So, right then, I have changed these around a lot. Don't worry, I'm not going to strip off and start putting stuff on. You don't need to see that. All right. So, I have, which I've already got on, merino wool, all right, short running socks. You can wear long, right, but these are really toasty. So, I wear the short ones, all right, and it don't matter because of the other gear I've got on. I always wear knee braces at all times for running, alright, because I have problems, but we won't go into all this. You just want to know what I put on. Alright, and if I can find it, we're starting at the bottom. Socks, knee braces, alright, compression pants, alright, compression pants. I like these because they're extremely flexible. I also like them because, well, the pockets aren't really important. Let's forget that, right? Compression pants. I wear long compression pants. They're nice and stretchy. They don't interfere with my knee braces. They keep my legs toasty and warm, all right? On top of them, I have my long johns, sort of. Right, I have a long john set, right, merino wool again, right. Now at the bottom you'll see they're on his short legs, right. I've cut the legs off them, right, and sewed them up so that, yes, I can sew. Yeah, I've cut the legs off them and sewed them up shorter, because with these compression pants and these over the top, they were sort of like sticking together. So when I was trying to run, it was hard. So I've cut these short. So now these only come to about just sort of like below hip, just below my hip, and then the compression pants, my knee pads, so it's not catching on anything. All right. So yeah, so I've got my long johns merino wool on. So that's sort of like my first top layer, and my bottom layer isn't complete because when it's really cold, like it is now, -7, right, I wear these. And I'll tell you what, I have been lovely and warm on my legs, right? Lovely and warm on my legs, right? These, there you go. If I put it up and let the camera focus. Don't know if that's focused in. Yeah, so outdoor Norway, the Norway pants, right? And I have dyslexia, right? And as you can see inside, they're like a fluffy wool, right? They're not, there is a bit of weight to them compared to like some I've got on now, obviously, just running trousers, right? But these are so warm. They really are warm, and you really do need to keep warm, right? Now, if you notice, everything I'm saying is merino wool, merino wool, merino wool. One, it's not a necessity, but it's kind of important so that if you do sweat, it breathes, it dries up and stuff, right? But I should point out, this is the sort of stuff I'm wearing for a short-ish run. I'm only going out, right, for a 5k today, just 3 mile, that's all it is, 3 mile, right? And I'm wearing all this stuff. So if I get a bit hot and a bit sweaty, I'm heading back to my house, because as you know, but I'll say it anyway, when you get hot and sweaty, the second you stop, that turns into ice and you're freezing. But I'm just doing a circuit coming back to my house, so it don't matter. I get home, take it off. If it's wet and sweaty, it don't matter, I'm back in my house. All right, now if I'm doing a longer run, 7 mile, 10 mile, whatever, you'll notice I've always got my running vest with me, and that has a 10-litre pocket in the back. All right, so sometimes I do stop. Yeah, I don't show you all this on video, it'd be boring, but sometimes I do stop and take my top off and put it in my back, or then occasionally, if it's got real cold, take some out of that and put an extra layer on. All right, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you don't want to, and it's freezing cold, you don't want to start sweating. That's the last thing you want to do, is sweat. So if you're starting to get a bit hot, take some off. All right, I don't mean you just warm and normal. If you're starting to hot and feel a bit, oh, that's wet, take some off before you get too sweaty, because when you do slow down, you'll freeze. But anyway, like I said, this is for a shortish run. And on top of that, I've got merino wool, lightweight, like can't call it a jumper, it's just a running top. All right, just lightweight running top. I was wearing this with nothing else, sort of like before, just before winterish, right? But when it was a bit chilly, but yeah. And then on top of all that, I have this, I mentioned this in one of my videos. It's sold as running, I got this from TEMU as well, right? Running and hiking and cycling top, right? The material, I nearly said feel that. Oh my God, I'm losing it. I nearly said feel that. The material is quite thick and it does block the wind really, really well. But underneath, like the armpits, it's real thin. So it lets you breathe underneath and all the way down the sides, right? Basically from there all the way down the sides, it's a thin material, right? You can practically see through it, I bet. You can see what I mean. It's a stretchy, thin material. It has a sort of fleecy feel to it, but it's thin and it lets you breathe. Whereas the blue is like a thick, hardened material, and it really does block the wind. It's got many pockets, but that's not really important. But I suppose the cycling side to it comes in because it has the 2 big pockets at the back. One, I always keep a hanky. You know what it's like running in this sort of weather. And I keep a spare pair of little gloves or something in there, so that if my hands are too cold, I can take my gloves off, put the liners on, and then put my main gloves back on again. But this has been, for winter, this has been my best buy, I have to say. It's not a cheap TEMU thing. I think it was about 20 quid. So yeah, it's kind of cheap when you think about how good it is. But you always think TEMU £5, don't you? Something like that. But this has been absolutely awesome. And unless this is just street running. Oh, it's here. This is what I was on about with my running vest. In the back here, you got a big pocket in the back and you can keep loads of stuff in. At the moment, I've got my Harrier windbreak, which is completely waterproof and stuff. That I have with me. So if I'm trail running, it started to rain, I can put that on. And I've got the Harrier waterproof trousers as well. But this is just my running vest. And my new light I picked up for thingy, and if I'm running on a road, because I kept forgetting to I've got one for the back as well, but down there or over there, whatever. But no, I kept forgetting me yellow safety vest. But yeah, so you get that anyway. Right, now that's what I'm wearing for running, right, street running and stuff. I've explained if I was going trail running, right, where you're sort of like miles and miles away from people, I'd have that vest so I can take some off, put it in the vest if I'm sweating, pull some out the running vest if I'm cold. So I have got, well, I've got to tell you the truth, I've got a tub over there, right? And it is just full of that tub under that table, right, is just full of all different running gear, from trousers to vests to shirts, sort of like all sorts of different stuff, because it's been trial and error trying to find the right thing for the right weather. I know I will be warm today. -7 wind chill, I'll be warm. I should cover this, it's important. Hands. Oh, I also always wear a buff, right, just to help keep my neck warm, and also if it does get too cold, you know what I mean. I should just cover this. You've made a hell of a mess. You're going to be looking for everything here, George, when you're trying to get ready. There they are. Gloves. I have been through an abundance. I got 2 more pairs over there, right? I got these gloves, right, which are quite warm, you know what I mean. They're okay, right, and they're great for like hiking and walking when it's not too bad. I got my super thick ones over there when it's really bad. I got these thinner ones when they're sort of like, when it's just a bit of a chill in the air, alright, but you just want something on. I keep these, right, because these, I use them as like underlayer gloves, alright, for these. Now these gloves, alright, these are the, oh God, I can't pronounce that. Can you pronounce that? Don't know if you can see that very well actually. One moment. Sorry about this. Didn't really plan this video, did you, George? Put them there. You see, these are my thick hiking ones. These are really warm. Alright, same company. Don't know if you, oh, that label's worse actually. I'll spell it for you. O-Z-E-R-O. Ozero. Right. Now, hiking we won't go into, but they are really warm and waterproof. And when I say warm, I mean we are toasty in them. We? Who the hell are we? The royal we. Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. Nice and soft, on the front, good grip, all that sort of stuff. But on the back, where your hand would be more more vulnerable to the wind, as you're running, you might have a fist, you might be like that or whatever, right? Because you don't run with your palms up, do you? Right? There's like an extra layer of material inside the glove, right? And it's almost like well, it's a shield from the wind, and they do keep you really, really warm. And when the temperature does get too bad, that's when I put these little thinner ones on, right? And they fit perfectly inside these. So I've got both pairs on now, and I'm still sort of like fine for everything. But these thinner ones, they're not bad actually. They're pretty damn good. If you're interested in anything I'm showing you, right, drop us a comment and I'll give you the link. But I told you, a lot of this stuff is from TEMU, so if you're not interested, you're not interested. Not all of it, some of it. In fact, the funniest thing is, right, this jacket I showed you that I got from TEMU, right, they sell it on Amazon for £65. I paid about 20-ish from TEMU, and it's the same jacket. It's exactly the same jacket. But I've mentioned that in videos before, right? If you're going to buy something off Amazon, right, check TEMU. You'll get the same thing for cheaper. Because what a lot of people do, they buy off TEMU and then they resell on Amazon for super inflated prices, right? And it's the same with this Wales hat I wear. Now this is a good buy. I actually bought this just to wear when I'm going out and about in winter, right? I don't mean doing anything, just going to the shop or whatever, right? And I realised it was so good, I thought I'll keep that just for hiking. It's so warm, all right? A lot warmer than this one. This is my running hat, all right? And it's brilliant, right? Rab, it's good make, it's brilliant and everything. But I'd started wearing this for running, right? Because it's 10 times bloody warmer. Plus, when I've got my bones on, right, they're much more comfy, right, because the flaps just go right over and they don't dig in, whereas with a Rab one, it kind of digs in a little bit. But yeah, these are on Amazon for a ridiculous price, but I got this from TEMU, and I think this was about £3. And it's also, I don't know if it's merino wool, right? I'd be lying here, I can't remember, and I can't see a label, right? So I don't know, but I know it's thick wool, right? And it's lovely and warm. And let's be honest, I think that's it. I think I've covered the 3 emails. So we've done shoes, right? Yeah. Exercises, yeah. And what I wear when I go out for a run. And I've tried to, I've told you, if it's trail running, sometimes I take some off, sometimes I had some switch stuff around and all like that. Now, obviously, when it gets warmer, right, 90% of that gear will vanish, get packed away, and some of that other gear in there will come out. So it's just hit or miss, but that's what I'm wearing today. And if I went out for a run tomorrow, that's what I'd wear tomorrow. If I went trail running the next day, it would be slightly different, right? But like I said, I've tried to cover as much as I can. Now, I don't know how long this video, 39 minutes. Yeah, you see, I was going to show some of my run at the end of this, right? Because like I said, I'm just going out, so I was going to record some of my run, even though it's just 3 miles, but it's already 39 minutes, so probably most people have turned off by now anyway, so I won't add a run to this video, or we're going to be pushing into the 1 hour mark, and there's no way people are going to watch for an hour, not me anyway. I know I watch videos for an hour, all right, but most people, if it's an interesting video, but most people only watch for about 15-20 minutes and then they sort of tune out. So I'll stop talking now. I just wanted to answer these emails, right? And one of them I've actually been not putting off, but waiting to see if I could incorporate it, the shoe one, right? Because that was about, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, the shoe one. I'm sure it was about 3 weeks ago. I did reply to the guy and said there's links in my description to where you can get them and stuff, but he wanted to see them up close. Or she, like I said, I can't remember. But, well, it's not that I can't remember, they didn't say. But, yeah, I think that's everything covered. I believe that's everything covered. Any questions at all? All right, any questions at all? All right, just drop me a comment, all right, about this gear, or out like that. All right, I'll be happy to give you links. I can't leave links to every single little individual thing. Well, I could, right, but a lot of the times people are interested in videos like this and I might only get about 10 views, right? Because these sort of videos bore a lot of people. So to be quite honest, it's easier for me just to say, if you're interested, drop me a comment. But I'm still happy to make these sort of videos. It's like on my kayak channel. I always say, and I say it on this channel, if you've got any questions, if you want me to make a video about anything, I am always happy to. I'm not the sort of person that says, oh, that video will be boring, it won't get many views. I don't care. If you've asked me a question and you want me to make a video about something or explaining something like this sort of gear and stuff, I'm happy to do it. I really am. I'm happy to do it. All right. Okay then, right, I'll leave it there. Simply say thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Sorry I couldn't stick a run on, but as I said, time's really clicked on this video, but I did say at the beginning it'd be a long one. Right, I'll catch you later, because now I have to put all this gear on and go out for a run. Okay, see you later. Cheers.